My fellow Kenyans, my name is Dr. Reverend Maria Joseph, and I thank God because of the time that He has given us. I thank Him because of the care and the protection that our God has given us. This world, we are protected by God and we are given great care and protection by Him because all human beings are not right and all human beings can do something against our life because they are against us. But I thank God because God is the only justifiable judge that we have in this our life as human beings. Now, today I want us to reflect and look something that is so much of importance to each and every one of us. And this is the Article 50 of the Kenyan Constitution. And Article 50 of the Kenyan Constitution talks about the fair hearing. It is part of the Bills of Rights that every Kenyan should have. And we have the fair hearing. That is the Article 50 of the Kenyan Constitution. And in the spirit of the fair hearing, the Constitution in that article, sub-article 1, says every person has the right to have any dispute that can be resolved by the application of law decided in a fair and public hearing before a court or, if appropriate, another independent and impartial tribunal or body. In the spirit of fair hearing, the dispute can be resolved by the application of law in a fair and public hearing, and in an independent and impartial tribunal or court. Let's talk of independency and let's talk of impartiality. Independency means that the tribunal that is hearing the case, the court that is hearing the case, the body that is hearing the case should be independent and should be impartial. It should not be controlled from a certain quarter. For example, it should not be controlled from the executive. It should be independent, not depend upon the executive. It should also be impartial. It should not apply favoritism or be one-sided. They should listen to the accusing person and the accused person. That is fair hearing. Okay. The article in sub-article 2, it says, every accused person has the right to a fair trial, which includes the right to be presumed innocent until the contrary is proved. The hearing body should not pre-convict the accused person. It should presume that the accused person is still innocent until the accuser proves contrary of the innocence of the accused person. So you cannot be taken to a body, you cannot go to a body that is hearing your case, which has already presumed you as a convict, which has already pre-convicted you. No, that is wrong. The body should be impartial, and the body should prove you, should take you innocence, presume you that you are innocent until proven guilty. Part B, to be informed of the charge with sufficient detail to answer to it. Anything that needs to be used in that case against you should be provided to you. Okay? To a public trial before a court established under this constitution. Okay. That's okay. The other one, because I don't want to continue to every part of it, because there is somewhere that we are going to look into it. Part K, to adduce and challenge evidence. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Not, that is part O, not to be tried for an offense in respect of an act or omission of which the accused person or the accused person has previously been either acquitted or convicted. Now, if there was a case that you are convicted or acquitted, and then this trial listens to that case that you are acquitted or convicted, makes it to be part of the evidence that is against the spirit of the Kenyan Constitution. Well, recently we listened to the motion for the impeachment of the impeached Deputy President of Kenya. There was a revisit to a case that had already been concluded by the judge of the High Court, Lady Justice Maina. That was so much refracted in the impeachment motion that broke the spirit of this Kenyan Constitution. The pre-conviction that was done by the Parliament before the motion was represented to them, and the Senate, it was a breakage and a violation, a gross violation of the Kenyan Constitution. Article 50 of fair hearing, fair trial. It was totally broken, totally violated. Another aspect that was violated, is sub-article 4 of the same Article 50. Evidence obtained in a manner that violates any right or fundamental freedom in the bills of rights, the bills of rights shall be excluded if the admission of that evidence would render the trial unfair or would otherwise be detrimental to the administration of justice. The documentations or the documents that were presented to the Senate that was hearing the trial of the impeached Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, most of them were obtained in a manner that violated the rights and fundamental freedom of the accused person. None of the document had a certificate of acquisition, wherever they were gotten from. There are some people who said it was through the whistleblowers, it was through good people. How? Therefore, there is no protection of data in Kenya. It's against the data protection. Not only that, it's against the Constitution of Kenya, Article 50, Sub-Article 4. So, with those few remarks, I afraid that the houses that are supposed to uphold and protect the Kenyan Constitution, they violated the Constitution in a gross manner. Number one, they were not independent. Number two, they were impartial. Number three, the evidence was gotten through violation of rights and fundamental bills of rights. Number three, there was no fair hearing. There's no adducing of evidence by the president, the deputy president himself. He was not given a fair trial. Okay? Okay. He was not given the fair trial according to the process here. Okay. Therefore, Part F of the same Article 50, to be present when being trialed, unless the conduct of the accused person makes it impossible for the trial to proceed. Okay? He should be present. To choose and be represented by an advocate and to be informed of this right promontory. Okay? And because he must have a fair hearing, a fair trial, he should be listened to. He should be listened to. Because after being listened to, after giving his own evidence, being cross-examined, he has a time to make mitigations. And lack of mitigation is a great cross of the procedural, that is of the procedure of justice in Kenya. We saw the deputy president impeached was not given a fair trial. He was not listened to because the senator was in a hurry. He never mitigated because the senator was in a hurry. He was convicted while he was in hospital, while normal courts will allow you to heal and be heard fairly. All these not only violated the Kenyan constitutions, but also violated the CPC, the Criminal Procedural Code of the Kenyan laws. And therefore, the Senate acted against the law of the land and violated the Constitution of Kenya. So the Senate should be dissolved because they are not a protector of the Kenyan Constitution. Both houses should be dissolved, and then now the country go for a snap election. Because if people who vowed to protect the Kenyan constitutions are the one violating the same constitution, then we are being led by anarchy. We are being led unconstitutionally. We are being led out of the constitution, and therefore there is no law that is governing the country because the constitution has grossly been violated. My dear Kenyans, take note, because violation of constitution leads to terrorism, it leads to demagogism, it leads to dictatorship, which was sent away by the promulgation of the Kenyan Constitution. I hope our courts will be independent and impartial, listening to the impeached deputy president, and I thank them because they have already stopped the revealing of the vacancy that was illegally created by the House of Commons that violated our Kenyan Constitution in a gross manner. Have a nice time, and let us trust in God and not the violators of the Kenyan Constitution. That is why even the gender rule, the third gender rule that is within the Kenyan Constitution is never implemented because we have violators of the Constitution. That is why provision of medical services to Kenyans, even when they're in emergency, they are asked to pay. Also a gross violation of the Kenyan Constitution. Provision of clean, safe and drinking water has never been done. Provision of shelter that's affordable and adequate has never been done. Why? We have violators of the Kenyan Constitution for their own gain. Kenyans, let us learn to know what our Kenyan Constitution states, and let us demand our representatives to follow the letter and letter of the Constitution and its own spirit. Thank you. Have a nice time.